Hello, and welcome back to Build and Stream with me, Professor Goat. We will just be continuing to work on some models in LEGO Digital Designer for some projects I'm working on. Of course, I am very eager to talk to all of you again. Talk to me about LEGO trivia, what you've been building. I want to see and hear everything you've been working on. Looks like we have a couple here. H, I agree. And Arden 4 is here. Thanks for joining us. So without further ado, I will just get right into it. Hopefully the audio quality will be a little bit better this time around. But yesterday we completed this smaller model over here. Right now we're recreating these models virtually so that I can render them more accurately. The reason I'm using LDD rather than the Superior Studio model is a lot of the tools used for rendering, at least that I'm aware of, are better suited for LDD. It's a little bit more entrenched, while Studio is newer software and there aren't quite as many tools for it yet. So that's why we're doing that. And the current ship we're building, as you can see over here, you can see the slow progress we're making. Right now, I just completed the side profile, during the last stream. So over the course of this stream, we'll be building the center, mirroring the main body, and that'll be it. And if there's still time, we may tackle a third ship. We'll just have to see what happens. So yeah, as I build, please ask me questions. If you have any musical requests, let me know. I have an extensive library of LEGO music, from video games to Ninjago television to the movies, pretty much everything. I'm going to start working on the front profile section now. See if I can figure out how to do this again. Oh no. Just try to test the audio there, but it's fine. I'm gonna steal these parts. All centered. That's an easy fix. How am I today? Ardent 4 asks. I'm doing all right. I've been working extensively in the lab lately, and I finally had some time free to build. It's quite nice to be able to do this again. How are you, by the way? That's an open question, but I saw one of the models you were working on lately on Flickr. It turned out really well. I'm going to use my. This is the interior model. This is one I use for reference for interior shots. Okay, very good. Time to pull out the brackets. Okay, I may have been mistaken about that. It may have just been I was looking through your archive and I saw one I didn't see before. It's difficult to see, but everything here is slightly off position. That looks right. All right, mudguard time. I guess they only have the one with the hole in it. We'll see. One of the goals I'm hoping to have is I want to be able to use this. I want to make these models publicly available. I don't think I'm have the best techniques, but I'm sure that some people, especially people who are just starting out, would be able to have fun just dissecting how crazy some of my models are to get their connections. But there are people on Flickr 10 times better than I am. I have a very particular style, which is a little bit limited, frankly. All right. More brackets. Messed up very slightly. Yeah, even in our own little Discord community, we've had quite a few. If you DM me on Discord and want to show off something, I'll put it up there and I'll do a very quick roast my mock. All right. And here we'll go ahead and add fun part. And we can see that the front profile here is starting to come into shape. All right, looks like His Majesty has popped his yellowish tan face in. Thanks for joining us. All right, we'll just use this one instead. You're being called out, John. You know what? Let's build the chairs. I'm very happy with the chair design on this. It's very difficult to see in here, but we'll make it work. Let's see if the parts actually exist in here, and I'm not sure if it's going to like the connections. Oh boy. Time to create a new email. There we go. But I'm sure you can see the formation of a chair here. Just double checking my work real quick. One more part, and the chair should be done, or at least the base of it. I'm glad you think so. Like this is yes, this is actually one of the ships you see in the opening sequence of the very crudely animated first episode. Don't worry. The plan is, since these models are going to be virtual now, I can pump them into Blender and eventually teach myself how to do modeling in do 3D models in Blender, and that should allow more convincing space sequences without having to overburden myself trying to figure out how to work things out with a green screen. That's very difficult with a ship of this color. And Lego is also very reflective and doing stuff like this, especially spaceships with green screens, doesn't seem to be the easiest thing to do in the world. Yeah. I'm hoping that as the quality improves and the writing, the models, and just overall quality improves, including stop motion and action sequences, I'm hoping that it'll find its own little community. Ancient Train says, "Hey there. Why are all the parts red? Well, that's what they are by default. And frankly, it's good to keep them red because that tells me what I haven't changed the color of to its proper color. But you can actually change everything to be any specific color that you want. I just choose to leave it as red. It makes it easier to figure out what to go with just visually, what still hasn't been adjusted. I'm probably going to do that at some point. I'll tinker. I have watched a couple tutorials on it, not quite as many as I need to. Once I feel like I have the basics, I'll probably reach out to a few people, have them give me a few pointers on where I'm going wrong. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us for this very impromptu stream. And if you have any questions about the model, what I've been working on, or just LEGO trivia, let me know. I have to say, lately we've gotten some fantastic designs and models, and I'm really disappointed I don't have a larger LEGO budget right now. Can you go to all colors by clicking one or two buttons, or do you have to close the program? Like over here in this little filter panel in the bottom left corner, again, this is an older software called LEGO Digital Designer. Studio is replacing it, and in general, I recommend it for its ease of use. But down here in the filter section, you can see all the different colors you can use. And if I press this, it'll update all the colors. It's funny because dark turquoise is listed as a legacy color, even though they brought it back in recent years. I have to figure out how to do the full interior eventually, but I'm going to put that off a little bit longer. What kind of things do you not have in Studio? I know there's a lot of external tools that haven't been added to Studio yet, but I'm hoping as Studio becomes the dominant 3D Lego CADing tool, we'll see more support for it. You know what? Let's work on the door. Am I building? No problem. I'm currently building this ship here from the Asker. It's the Lego Animatic series I'm working on. And if I have 3D models like this, it'll make animation, in theory, a little bit more feasible, especially with having to work around green screens. It'll be easier to get continuous motion out of things that are a bit difficult to master in without a much larger space. But as you can see, it's a very smoothed out model. There's no exposed studs. There's no real huge gaps in it. And like these doors are functional as well. You can see them, the doors pop open here, and that's what I'm going to work on next, the opening and shutting door feature. The second episode, the script has actually been completely completed. I'm having most of the voice actors I've reached out to. They have the lines. I should have most of them in the next month or so. Got to give them plenty of time. They're very, very generous to help me out with this project, and it takes time to get everything done on that. But I'm finishing up on the set pieces for the next episode. Those are going to look. I'm creating an entirely new system for this episode. It's much larger. It gives to allow better perspective shots. It's not as claustrophobic as the first episode, which I'm very happy with how that's going. And hopefully, as things develop, production will go faster and quality will slowly improve. Let's see. And for some reason, you don't want to work. Well, that's a little bit peculiar. How many original LEGO superheroes can you name? As in, not any licensed characters. I actually can't think of any off of the top of my head. The only one that really comes to mind is Super Station Master, who was a LEGO Trains character who also appeared in LEGO Island 2. That's really the only one that pops out in my mind. Most of the rest, LEGO is very content to just use established characters. But if maybe you know of some that I don't, maybe they put some, especially in the games, that they've used. All right, I'm not aware of any others. Wrong part. But this one here is one of my favorite parts. It has a lot of flexibility to it. And the slight difference in the profile gives us a very nice texture here. I'm still very puzzled why this wouldn't work. I assume that since I was messing around with the angle, maybe if I try and go back on this. Like you can see, it's very slightly offset. I'm going to try a few tricks, see if I can make this work. That is very odd. I think they qualify as their own thing. They definitely overlap in the fantasy superpowers area. Really? Oh, I got it. I got it. I did a little bit of trickery here. This may be just slightly illegal, but we're not going to tell Lego about this one. Yeah, I did a little bit of finagling here. I couldn't get the angles quite right, and I'm not sure if it's due to the LDD sensitivity, or I got the angles wrong, or maybe it's just plain illegal. But I'm trying to get this figured out. Also, I have a huge catalog of Lego music in my library. So if you want to make a request, or maybe even a certain genre, let me know. Lego has grown a pretty extensive library of music over the years. I'm not sure if you're aware, but some people, I think it was on Rock Raiders United, found ways to. There are. So there's like hitboxes where the physical barrier is, and if you know where the gaps in those hitboxes are, you can actually run a piece through the middle of a Lego part in LDD. Can I share the titles as a list? It's a little bit large. There's like, I want to say 18 hours of music on this, maybe even more. But I have everything from Lego Universe to Ninjago to the Lego Movie, to the classic Lego games, to the Lego Marvel games, to some of the music that only plays at the Lego theme parks, some of the Lego online Flash games. I have a little bit of everything. And this one is Lego Island. You can't see it too well. It'll be easier once I build it out. But that should fix that problem at least. How many sets has Lego ever sold? Um, I'm not sure. To be perfectly honest, it's definitely in the hundreds of millions if I were to take a swing at it. I don't think it's quite in the billions, but it's probably getting close by now. But I don't know. Since frankly the pandemic has been very good for Lego because especially older people have been rediscovering the hobby, and it's been a great way for people to engage with their creative side. And like since in just the last few years, we've seen this huge expansion in the adult market. Do they release such information? I haven't looked at those. I haven't looked at those releases lately. They may. Um, like a lot of the details are always confidential. I've haven't been interested enough to dig through all the statistics since it doesn't affect. It's all a little bit abstract. What all those data points mean. So I haven't dug into them personally. So I wonder if it's called the Exoforce. Arm. Might be under, most likely under body parts. Here we go. I'll use the separate piece for reference here, since we're doing a little bit of fudging right now, since the parts I actually used in the model aren't in the LDD library. But we're going to make this work. And some of the music from the series is in here as well. Croatian fan says, hello, thank you for joining us. I'm just working on a few models here, so if you have any questions about the models or LEGO trivia, let me know. That sounds about right. It's absolutely insane just how much the interest in LEGO has expanded in just the last couple years. All right, next, let's get the attachment point. It's going to be a little bit awkward figuring out how to get the angle on this one, but we'll figure it out. I'm trying to figure out where they would hide the claw piece. Maybe if I search claw instead of arm. I'll find it in a second. 20 to 21. I figured that's what you meant. Perhaps it's under bars. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. What we're listening to now is actually Bionicle fan music. Got to figure out the exact angle. This is always the trickiest part of LDD, just figuring out how to get the exact angle. See a little bit of clipping there, and it calls that legal. Maybe if we retract that just a little bit. Got to retract just a little bit more. And that should do it. There we go. We have our door mechanism. But if you look at like this little wall on the door, you can see how it can pivot in and out like this. So very compact, but pretty fun function. It's a little bit on the fragile side if you haven't figured that out by now. Most of my models tend to involve an extreme amount of fragility to get the shapes I like. But we'll fix all the colors on this one real quick. Let's work on the top section real quick. Red Dragon Plays says, "Hey, I agree. That's a very astute point. I did not consider that." Gonna take off the goggles for just a little bit. Red Dragon Plays is never late, nor is he early. He arrives exactly when he intends to. But now let's do a little bit of tinkering on the interior real quick. This is stuff that we probably won't see too much on the model, but I want to add the extra detail just in case of authenticity. And when I port this over to Studio, I'll do a few corrections on it to make it more accurate to what the physical model is. Slowly getting that smoothed out shape. Glad you think so. A lot of the interior will have to wait until I port this to the studio model, unfortunately, but you can see where we're going with all this at least. Just double checking a few of the measurements on here. And if you have any questions about the model, about the Asker project, or Lego, that might be a little bit much. We're not playing Rhythm Heaven Lego Edition today, I'm afraid, John. All right. I'll throw in the bottom. You see we have these pieces that are traditionally used on the hoods of cars for the body, where the antenna and the back radar dishes are placed. Is Earth in the universe of the Asker? It may, but only in an alternate dimension we will probably never see. I'm glad you like it. It took a long time to figure out how to get all these angles to match in a satisfactory way. I have no idea where this part is hidden. I guess these are kind of the pseudo car parts. Yes, Arden is a fantastic builder. Do you ever build by grouping elements? What do you mean? Oh. I'll be honest, I forgot this tool existed. I was too used to the system of studio grouping that I completely forgot this existed. I feel like an idiot. But what can you do? Again, I haven't used LDD properly since like 2014, 2015. I pivoted to physical models, and when I did tinker with digital, I did studio. LDD actually really hated my old laptop, so I didn't do too much with it. Yeah, it could be handy. I may still use it again. Still using the old model for reference. Just be safe. I'll use this one since it has less polygons. Next, we'll go for the antenna. .3, so we'll mirror that. All right. It's gotten a little bit quiet here, but if you have any questions, please let me know. I am very eager to be stumped, or just have any questions in general. I believe the antenna would be categorized as one of these parts. Really? Well, that's hopefully one of the goals. Maybe you'll see a technique that you can use in a really cool way, or maybe you like the shape of something. I absolutely hope to see more models. And if you guys want to share models you've been working on, you can just DM me on Discord, and I'll do a quick roast my mock here on the stream. That's either perfectly aligned or close enough. So we can see the shape slowly starting to come in. There we go. Coming right along. And after we finish this, we're going to build the evil version, which is this thing here. Lost part of my badge for a second. It's all right. Oh yeah, it's actually one of my favorites. Most of the ships on the used by the Epicurean Union, that is the main faction, the main hero faction we see in the Asker. Has an octagonal motif, a very slight one. Yeah, the '90s sea themes were really underrated. Um, they had a very sci-fi vibe for undersea models, and we don't get to see that a lot. Got to recall how I've done all of this. Let's see. Do you build by selecting just any piece that seems to fit or work, or do you try to use only parts you already have? Usually, when it comes to, I usually experiment with physical models. I like the tactile nature of the brick. It's very immersive. I feel that studio, especially, is good for experimenting with things that you don't necessarily have a lot of. Um, and if I have a concept and I'll say, "Oh, this new piece will be perfect with it," sometimes that just means I have to place a $50 bricklink order, which is not fun. But that's just the nature of the game sometimes.
Good morning, Lego Island. Today it is going to be hot and sunny again. Perfect weather for skateboarding.
There we go. Perfect. But yeah, I have an extensive and quite disorganized collection right over there that I'm not going to show on screen because I am not happy with how disorganized it looks. But rest assured, we'll be I'll do a tour of it sometime. There's a lot of really cool things I've been working on that I want to show off. You can pack up the roof real quick. All right. It's not in there for some reason. I agree. That's another part that doesn't exist yet, which is great. I'm gonna do a little bit more fudging. But you guys know, like, so there's this part. There's a 1x of this part now, which is very handy, but that does not exist here. So I'm going to use the old reliable technique called cheating. There we go. You need subtitles for the stream, or oh, I have no sound. That's I'm sure someone in the comments would be overjoyed to copy down everything I say. Like I probably need to do that on like I'm trying to add that on the next episode of the Asker, but I definitely can't do that on streams. I guess it doesn't automatically do that. That's unfortunate. We're actually very close to completing this model. I know it doesn't look, it only looks like we're halfway done. I'm going to take a quick detour. You don't mind. It's just a little something for later. All right, let's tackle the bottom real quick. Yeah, I definitely understand that. I really am not familiar enough with adding subtitles, especially doing that for a stream is not necessarily realistic. Um, but who knows? Well, I'll definitely try and get that on our scripted content going forward. That's something I've wanted to do. I've let it auto generate, and that works pretty well. Um, you could probably tell if you look in the top right corner of the screen. You might even notice a logo that says StreamYard, which is almost as if that is the platform I'm using. Okay. Let's do the fun underside to this real quick. And I forgot to use that technique, which I can't easily replicate here without cheating. So that's just what we're going to do. All right, so I'll show you what I'm working on now. You'll notice the underside. I'm trying to make it so that these models feel like they would actually work in a Lego world. So that means that there's extra little exhaust ports for directional maneuvering, such as these ports here could be used for like little thrusters. There's not really anything on the top for it, but on the underside, like to get upwards thrust, there's these little modules here to push the ship off the ground. There you are. trying to think of the laziest way I can make this next attachment. And there's a really easy way. Is that supposed to be an icon? Yeah, it doesn't load when I view it on StreamYards. Here we go. We're making significant progress now. But there's a little bit of snottery going on under here. It's all going the same way, right? That's the audio quality, by the way. This isn't on the physical model, but I'm going to swap out one of the parts to have a little bit of extra texture. Because texture is the spice of life. You know what? We're going to add a lot of detail because we can. I don't know. It just kind of happens. I am really glad you like it. This is actually one of my least favorite builds. At least one of the builds I have, I think it's the most boring shape. There we go. Got that extra little bit of texture going on here for little characters to be walking on, and this nice little line on the bottom, making the ship seem more aerodynamic. That's a good look. Like this is the little grill piece is probably one of my favorite bricks. It has this wonderful texture. I cannot get enough of it. I'm gonna turn these on olive green to indicate I need to swap them out later. Turn these off, right? Yeah, I did. Again, it doesn't look like we made much progress, but we've done quite a significant amount in this short amount of time. Next, I'm going to add back. Right now I'm looking for the 1x3 inverted tile piece. The one with a little hole in it that was introduced with... Hey, thank you for joining us. If you have any LEGO questions or want to know about what I'm working on, please let me know. Right now I'm just hunting down a missing piece. Spitfire Creations, hey, thanks for joining us. We're just having a very casual building stream where I'm recreating some of the models that are going to be featured in the Asker, the animatic series I'm working on. But you can see that. So I'm working on these 3D models so that I can port them to Blender so I can make more intense action sequences with them. Hopefully it'll all work out in the end. I have no idea. I've never done anything like this before, but I'm hoping the end product will be worthwhile. It's just a matter of time to figure that out. No, it's just a matter of me finding it. But if I can't find it manually, I may just have to look up the part number here in a little bit. Also, if you guys want to show off your own LEGO creations, you can just DM me on... the LDD grouping system is a little bit weird to me. I think in terms of the BrickLink layout. In my experience, this tool is not the best for this sort of thing. And they may not have it. Like it's that size, but interesting. Okay, so I'm looking for the 1x3 piece. You know the collectible series of Unikitty? The piece that was used for her chin? I don't know quite what you're asking, but I'll pull it up on BrickLink real quick. I could just search it on BrickLink effortlessly. So I search tile, modified. The BrickLink system works so much better. in part because I've trained myself to think in terms of it. You guys know this one, right? But we can search this number real quick just to make sure. I think Bricklink and Lego officially use different ones, and I don't think it's on here. But this is a really fun piece. You can do a lot of weird stuff with it, even if I use it mostly for boring stuff. Oh, that one's only in that? That's such a cool color. Yeah, there's... I might need to order these before they get too expensive. I really like this part. Dark turquoise, dark orange and dark turquoise are two of my favorite Lego colors. You go to Lego conventions like Brick Cascade in Portland or Chicago. I'm in the southeastern region, so unfortunately it's not really feasible for me to travel that far right now. It costs quite a bit of money. But if I ever get the opportunity, I won't take it down. I do go to more conventions, like mostly conventions in Tennessee and Alabama. I want to go to one. I do want to hit Brick Fair, Virginia, at some point. And who knows? Maybe if I get a larger budget, or who knows? Maybe long term I'll be able to venture out a little bit more than I currently can. You have to realize, just spatially, I'm sure you've all seen the Nexus Temple. It's over 6 feet tall. Transporting that thing is not fun. Would you like money? I am a huge fan of money. I love money. But I don't do these streams for money. But yeah, everyone likes money. And like money pays for a lot of the things I do for the Asgard project. And I have to get parts, I have to commission some resources, especially the music. All that takes money, but that's out of my own pocket because I'm doing what I love. I have a spare money laying around. If you're sure, I don't have anything like that right now, but I'll let you know. I may set up a coffee or something. Again, now you want to see me at some worldwide conventions. Don't expect that anytime soon. Again, you have to realize, like, if I'm making $100 from, if we started making $100 from this channel a month, maybe I could do something like that. You have to realize going to a convention costs, like out-of-state convention, especially on the that's like several states away, that can cost upwards of $1,000 very easily, and that's very hard to justify for me. No Patreon? Not currently. I don't feel like I've earned that personally. I want, if I set something up like that, I want to feel like, I'm earning that. And right now with the Asgard project, I'm only going to be able to put out an episode every 3 months. And because of that, I'm not really focusing on any other content. I'm hoping to do some behind the scenes stuff and more streams like this. And I'll put out these LDD models so that more people can look at them. Right now, I don't have anything like that set up. We do have channel memberships, but that goes kind of to everyone that you can look into. Yeah, that's the closest thing we have at the moment, His Majesty says. We'll look into other options long term. But yeah. Conventions are stupidly expensive, especially if you're out of state. It's really hard for me to justify traveling, especially between work and everything else. I really do enjoy going to conventions. It's both a major physical drain, it's a fiscal drain, And it's also a psychological drain. After you go to a convention, you just feel drained for the next few days. Um, King John Brick, he is the ruler of Club Brick. We refer to him graciously as His Majesty. But yeah, don't feel obligated to do anything. We're doing this right now mostly for fun. If it turns out to make a bit of money, or that'd be great. If at some point the Asker becomes popular enough that it's not a total loss, but pretty much every episode I'm having to spend quite a bit of money, upwards of $100 to get all the new music assets, and all to get all the different assets, including different Lego pieces that have to appear in that episode. But again, I'm doing this for fun. This is, some people go to movie theaters, some people go out to eat. I try not to do any of that. Most of my free money goes straight into this because this is my passion project. Pretty much the only thing that I do outside of that is I will treat myself to ices. That's pretty much my only expense outside of Lego that's not purely to sustain myself. I'm not sure what you mean by this, but that's just my kind of my philosophy. Do I do lectures? I have done Ask the Professor, which I answer very short questions. I've done essay content here on the channel. I'm not sure if you've seen those. Those are sort of like lectures. Well, what kind of lectures would you like to see? I'd be interested to hear. Again, my focus is on the Asker right now, but if I can work in some other content along the way, there's a lot I do want to talk about, like just how fantastic the new the 2022 sets in City. Monkey Kids had some good ones, a little bit on the pricey side. Ninjago's had some fantastic sets as well, as always. Star Wars has had a couple good ones as well. At Star Wars, with this point, it just feels very repetitive for me personally, but a lot of people still really enjoy it. Okay, I imagine you are in an engineering class teaching about complicated angles with a minimal amount of pieces. That's not quite. Lego and engineering do overlap in a lot of areas. Even some engineering classes do teach people with Lego. But if I ever end up in a teaching position like that, I definitely do enjoy. I have done community events where I have taught how to do different techniques. And I'm hoping I'll be able to do that again soon at some point. It's a different dynamic when you do it in person. It takes less planning in some areas, but it also takes more commitment in others. Sharing a song? What kind of song do you have? Okay, I'm getting just a little bit distracted here, but we're going to keep going. Let's do this one next. The next section we're working on is back here. We're replicating this little section. I left a little bit of a gap under here so that I can reach down and pull this out. To remember how I did some of this nonsense. I'll be honest, I really don't remember a lot of this. You want to start a side YouTube career? All right. Um, I'll think about it. A lot of the I haven't done it in part because a lot of the techniques are already out there. And another thing is, since I'm going to be building up a digital library, I'll be able to have hands-on examples that you can actually tinker with, and I won't have to like you can, instead of me showing you, you can actually piece apart the model yourself and discover how it works. And I think that would be a very fun thing to do at some point. But there are some really great builders out there. The kind of builds that I do, like people with great examples, but the kind of builds I do, you notice that all of this is very smooth. Like even the little gaps in the side of the wall, usually these bricks have those little notches in here for studs to fit, but most of my models cover those up. And even when I do leave them exposed, they're for a very aesthetic purpose. But like that's my area of expertise and what I enjoy figuring out, even if I'm not quite the best at it. But I'll think about it. I might do some different tutorials as well on how to build some of these, especially the smaller models. Someone's asked how I built the chair. I'm also working on some little micro spaceships that could be fun little builds that have like 10 to 20 parts each. And I'm losing focus. I'm somewhere in there. I'm somewhere in that age range. I'll let you speculate. Trying to figure out how I did some of these techniques. It's been like 6 to 8 months since I've done a lot of this, so it's kind of slipped my mind. That one comes out a bit more than that, so I think I've messed up just slightly. You keep asking me questions. It makes the time pass faster. But I'll say I'm in my mid-20s. Now we'll pull out the inverted boys. I forgot I copied this into the playlist. I don't know why, but the Ninjago theme song uploaded this remix, and it's one of the most cursed things I've ever heard. Are you good at vehicle-related mods? I have done it some. It's not my area of expertise, but I'd say I'm compared to like the god tier builders, compared to little Timmy who just sticks some wheels on a plate. I'm a 5 or a 6. Not fantastic, but I can make it work. I'm decent at it. I'm not very good at realistic ones, I'll say that. I can do okay, I've actually been working on one recently for a family friend, but again, I'm not an expert. It's going to be great to see all the copyright claims at the end of this stream. There we go. We are making some progress. Got a little bit of a construction stripe here on the back for some extra detail. To mark the exhaust. Not something you want to get too close to. It literally may just be that simple. Yeah, it's that. That makes more sense. See, the past me was kind of clever, and I'm just playing catch up right now. All right. In case you're wondering, 10 Lego minifigures can be seated in this ship. Although, in theory, you could do more if they're standing. More like 80, I think. Or 120. 120 is good. I am really happy. Well, I didn't ask you to do that. With this little chair piece. It's a very simple design in terms of the number of parts, but it has a very cool texture to it. And I'll copy our character from over here. There we go. We have our little pilot. Tilt that guy forward, and we're about ready to put him in place. Delete those guys. Let's do that. Got to use my interior model for reference. It's right near the back. We can do that. And if you have any other LEGO related questions or questions about what I'm building or my projects, please let me know. There we go. All right. Got to swap this out. It's a little bit more space. You Mega Bloks Lego? Maybe you shouldn't. But yeah, I'm just building. Pay no mind. I'm going to see if I can complete this ship today, then we'll go from there. But we're actually mostly done. I'll go ahead and start working on the mirror side real quick. Do you have a complete collection of Bionicles, as in every set, or like a certain Toa line? Um, but I I'll show you. One second. I have either everyone. I may be missing one or two, but I have almost every Bionicle novel and most Bionicle books. Including some extras. Of course, I have Time Trap, and everyone from the Adventure series to Legends to Chronicles. I have all of those. But I do frequent thrift stores, so I've slowly built up a question. Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. I'll show you off the rest of my stuff while I'm at it. This is actually a fan book, Lego Space Building the Future. This was actually made by, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Exosuit. It was a Lego idea set, and the person who designed the suit actually participated and built a lot of these models. A lot of these, the people who worked on this book, I follow on Flickr, and it's really cool to have like a physical copy of that. What else do I have? This one in particular is really cool. Makuda's Guide to the Universe. Like anyone who, if you think you have something you can offer the channel, you're welcome to reach out. But we all got to start out somewhere. But it's a chronology of every element of the Bionicle universe up through 2008, or as I like to call it, canon. But there is quite a bit. I'm trying to find the map, which is, of course, a huge spoiler. But some of the artwork in this is genuinely fantastic. There we go. Like, this is the complete map of the Bionicle universe. And there's very few places where you can get like physical copies of that map. But I have Ninjago books. I have a Nexo Knights novel for some reason. An Exoforce book, Hero Factory. This journal for some reason. I haven't written in it because it's too cool. What else do I have? What else do I have? One sec. I have some 90s books. Like the animation on it has not aged well at all. Sorry if I'm not talking. To you directly. I'm a little bit distracted right now. I also have all of the Lego movies except the Bionicle ones and Lego Movie 2. Yeah, I recommend just I have a few of the extras. If you'll pay for shipping, you can have them. But yeah, just check thrift stores. They'll pop up from time to time. The movies are, I don't think they've aged phenomenally well, but there's something very nostalgic about it. The soundtrack by Nathan First, I want to say, it was really cool. I don't know how all that works. I'm not really involved in that process, but what is Bionicle? It's actually Bincle. But yeah, Bionicle. This was a theme that lasted from 2001 to 2010. It returned from 2015 to 2016 in an ill-fated reboot. Um, all right, you have the Toe of Light one, the Mask of Light. That's the first one. It's decent. I personally have a soft spot for Legends of Metru Nui just for the landscape, and I really like the landscape of that one. And the soundtrack is a really cool mix of techno and more of a tribal beat. Um, you say that, but there's a lot of overlap. It's just another parallel system, as you say, to Technic. Um, but all these systems are cross-compatible. The ball and joint system was actually incorporated in a lot of the mechs seen in Ninjago and Exoforce, among other sets. But even if all these systems are very divergent, they're all overlapping. Yeah, I have an archive of most of the Lego music in existence. I wouldn't even say I'm the biggest Bionicle fan. Look, the Bionicle system is a mess, but it's also extremely interesting and fun to play around with. It's a parallel system. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to call it horrible. I would say it's convoluted. Convoluted would be a better word for it. Horrible is how you would describe the Galador building system. But there is a very certain logic to the Bionicle building system, and I understand why it annoys a lot of people. It annoys me as a system builder. It was the worst thing was the anniversary set that Lego hinted at. It was not Bionicle though. I haven't kept up with what they want to do about that, but a lot of Bionicle fans do want closure, and I do think they do deserve a set. Yeah, it needs to be part of the anniversary celebration. I agree with that. You also have to realize that Bionicle isn't just a you can't just look at it as a toy with a building system you personally don't like. There are huge elements about the world building, the marketing, the books, just the immersion of this world that was incredibly groundbreaking just from a historical perspective for Lego. It helped save Lego. Not just that, but a lot of the lessons that Lego learned from Bionicle were incorporated into later themes, especially Ninjago. It's very different tonally, but it shows this paradigm shift for Lego, and Bionicle is very unique for having some of the most complex and convoluted storylines and story arcs. But yeah, I have this strange ice on my fave. It looks way different to a Toa. DM me a picture and we'll identify it here on the stream. Like way bigger? Take a picture and send it to me on Discord, and we'll dissect it. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that in the background as we continue building. That was a fun little diversion, but I've a reasonable collection. It's mostly the Toa I enjoy. I do really like the Matoran, especially after the naming day, the 2003 era Matoran. But currently I have built the Mata line. I have Metru, Nuva, and Master. Those are the lines I currently have built. What else do I have? I, of course, have the Toe of Light. I have a Kimu from 2016. I think I have a Kimu 2015 and the Protectors from the 2015 wave. Hang on. Also, by the way, as there's look for another one that account that says look for another account that says Professor Goat. That one is a little bit out of date. One sec. Yeah, send it to Briggs. All right, and before I get too distracted, I'll keep working on this. We'll work on the mirroring part. There you go. Okay. So I'll pull this over. So this is one of the Glatorian from, I believe this is one of the, yeah, this is a 2009 set. Let me pull it up real quick. Glatorian Legends. His name is, not sure if it's pronounced Jelu or Gelu, but here he is. His set number is 8988. So yeah, that's the set you have. Yep, 2009. That checks out. He's a pretty cool set. I really like the little eye spikes on his shoulders. And that's one of the best things about Bionicle. The most fun things is trying to incorporate all these bizarre little pieces that you don't traditionally associate with LEGO and working that into system mods. It gives us a very obscure flair. Speaking of Glatorian, I think this is music from that era. We all age. There's nothing to be ashamed of. This is part of this is probably part of your childhood, so you should just embrace that. Like, I grew up with some of the first Bionicle sets, so there's always someone older than you in the LEGO community. So. think we're almost ready to do the flip here. I'll just copy that over here as a backup. Moment of truth. Something's catching. Yep, that's it can be a little bit uncomfortable, but if you build up a good collection, you might want to consider sorting your parts. That's another thing I need to eventually do. I have to make a tutorial. And maybe a few minutes for me to figure out what is going wrong here. It's probably this. Let's see if this fixes it. But yeah, my first Bionicle set was the original Golly from 2001. I don't think I actually got it in 2001. I think I got it a couple years later. But I really enjoyed that set. Oh, duh. It's this. Now we just click this into place, and it doesn't like something else. Do you use OBS? I've never bothered with it. Maybe someday. It's a puzzle. That's fine. for the front section. That's fine. So it's somewhere down there. This is why Studio is so much better. They have a mirroring tool, and I don't have to worry about all this quite as much. So it's definitely down. The problem is definitely down here. What if it's just that? Nope, not quite. Building along. Currently making a construction site. All right, very nice. Send a picture on Discord at some point if you like. It has to be something fairly obvious that I'm missing here. Because the front section worked, and it was specifically the side section. It doesn't like this for some reason. Really? Interesting. I had no idea. That's incredibly frustrating. Fortunately, there's a way around that. These should be turned around. Well, time to get started. Also, personally, I recommend checking out places like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and thrift stores to find the cheapest Lego out there. You can also find some really cheap Lego on at conventions. Conventions are the best way to find. A lot of them will have little grab bag areas, and you can fill a cup as you would at the Lego store. There we go. Let's see if this fixes it. Welcome to the troubleshooting section. Okay, the Middle East. Probably not. Probably not quite as big of a Lego community out there, but maybe you'll still be able to find some online vendors that have some good deals out there. Yeah, we're actually very close to being done, but we're almost at least filled in. There we go. That's looking good. There we go. We are extremely close. Rowan says something. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. Hi, Rowan. I'm at least going to finish the exterior profile today. Then we might call it. We'll just slide him in. There we go. Unhide. Still needs a couple tweaks, but just have this little section left. That's an easy fix. Okay. Good call. I took care of it. Okay, thanks for telling me. Hey, could be fun. I know I won't be able to make it that far out, but could be a fun little convention. Still got to do the back here, but I'm. Oh well. UAE is United Arab Emirates, right? Honestly, that's not too far. Like, from an American perspective, that's not that far. But yeah, that's fair. It's definitely not fun with the prices on a lot of that stuff. I've only been to Legoland once. I'd love to go there again sometime. It's definitely not the most intricate series of parks, but it has a very certain charm to it. But here we go. We have the Meridian class shuttle from the Asker. I still have a few more finishing details on it, but I'm getting kind of hungry, so I think I'm just going to call it here. If you guys have any last minute questions, please let me know. That is almost 2 spaceships down. I'll do a few more tweaks after the stream, and that one will be finished. I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's still missing a few parts on the back and the interior, but I'll do some polishing behind the scenes later. Right now, I'm hungry, so I am going to go ahead and do you stream regular day and time? No, unfortunately not. My work schedule and life schedule is very unpredictable. I don't know what days a week I'll be working, and I don't know how late. Some days I may not have to work at all. Some days I may be stuck there until pretty late. So again, it's very difficult to predict right now. We'll see how things come long term. Plus, there's other stuff I have to work on for the Asker that isn't really stream-worthy content, but we'll see what happens there. We'll end on this song. But thank you everyone for joining me. If you want to keep chatting, you can always... I'm sure most of us are on the Discord, on the Club Break Discord. You can also DM me directly if you have any questions about Lego or anything. I am also looking for help on the Asker project. If you think you're a decent builder and want to contribute some of your ideas, either as a writer, as a builder, or a voice actor, send me a message. We'll see what we can do. And thank you everyone for joining me. This has been another Build and Stream with Professor Leonard Goetz, and until next time, play well.